Okay, what's up, everybody? This is Billy Gunn and Stone Cold Steve Austin on the old Stone Cold podcast, talking about how Billy Gunn, I guess, warned Bruce Pritchard, don't put Bart Gunn in the Brawl for All because he's going to beat everybody. It's an interesting clip. It just showed up on my YouTube timeline. I'll play it for you and I'll give my thoughts.
You guys are both big athletic guys back in the day and to this day. But Bart, when they started doing the Brawl for It All or Brawl for All, whatever the hell it was called, all of a sudden, man, I think they wanted Dr. Death Steve Williams to win the thing.
Of course they did.
Dude, here comes
And
Bart.
I told JR from the get-go, don't put Bart in it. I told him from the start, I said, don't put him in it because he's going to crush everybody.
Okay, well, give me the backstory because I heard that he was a bad stick of wood in his neighborhood or scene in Florida. What was up?
Yeah. Like when Mike says, so when Mike walks in any place in Titusville, people separate like the Red Sea. Because he although probably one of the nicest guys on planet, he's another one. Super nice, easy going. But once he gets going, just go away.
He does look like a nice guy. This is from the WWE. Where are they now? And he's got a nice big smile on his face, a beautiful woman on his arm. Looks like a nice guy. Looks just like a happy-go-lucky, happy to be there guy.
Because some really bad shit's about to happen. Like, it's not good. Like, I've heard so many stories about him cleaning places out. I've seen him clean. He was at one club in Orlando, and I think it was like 15 guys until he got a bottle stuck in his side. If you notice, he has that scar on his side. That's where he had a Boone's Farm bottle shoved in his side and still whipped 10 guys and then just looked down and went, hey, where'd that come from? Like, he's just that, he's that guy. And when they started putting that all together and he was in, I just started laughing. And of course, JR loved JR to death. This was a Steve Williams thing. This, cause he's just kind of coming in the business. It's kind of get him because he's had that reputation. But I just think he was just too deep. I mean, Steve was a badass in his
but he's more all-American wrestler.
Yes. So Bart's that. Now you can wrestle and hit. They figured, okay, that'll balance out. Well, you actually have to get to the wrestling part, but Bart's knocking people out before they even get to that part. So I think it was a disaster all around. And then you put him in there with, the end result is WrestleMania with Butterbean. You put him in there with a professional fighter, and it's kind of, let's put an end to Bart's reign, which to this day, Bart still wants to fight him.
Yeah, but I'd heard, and you can clarify this, but I'd heard that because he was going to fight Butterbean, who was
To this day, Bart still wants to fight Butterbean. It wouldn't be a fair match if you go on YouTube and watch old clips of, current clips of Butterbean now. He's been working with DDP just to be able to walk again, and he's training to return to have one more fight, which would be amazing if he could. But right now, Butterbean's not really in any shape to fight anybody.
a boxer with technique, and Bart was just a fighter with a lot of power and a heavy right hand. Probably just nasty to begin with. But I'd heard that he had started taking some boxing lessons.
That's
got in his head.
Exactly. That's exactly where everything went awry. There was no part of boxing and no part of finesse, and it was, okay, ding, ding, and start swinging. So whenever they started to set this up, they said, hey, we're going to get you ready for this. We're going to have you go do less. So now he's taking boxing lessons. So he comes out trying to box, and Butterbean, just ducks his heads and slings them. I think that's what bothers Bart the most, is that he knows that messed it up. That was the thing that put the brakes on it, because he went in there going, oh, so now I have to fight him. Now I have to go learn how to box and move my feet and stuff. No, that ain't what brought you to the dance. Those big old mittens you got brought you here, just sling them around.
What's he doing now?
He was a master electrician out at the Cape.
That's awesome.
Before he started getting into wrestling. Then he got into wrestling, but then when he got out, he did this stint in Japan, was a big, huge deal over there in Japan for about 8-9 years, I think. And then came back and redid all his licensing, and now he's a master electrician again.
I remember reading in the old magazines about Bart tearing it up in Japan. He also there was a very short-lived promotion called the WXO. Ted DiBiase was the promoter for it, and they were showing like packages of Bart Gunn and Johnny Ace, um, who's John Laurinaitis. I guess they were a tag team over there, and they were showing like matches of them in Japan, saying they're coming to the WXO, and it never happened. Um, but yeah, so I remember reading about that and then seeing those matches on the WXO episode. WXO was only like 3 weeks and then it was canceled. It wasn't. It didn't last very long, and they wrestled like in an empty arena, and Fred Ottman was the big star. But anyway, yeah, what I never got about this whole Brawl for All thing. Now, they talked about how it was supposed to be for Dr. Death, but I think that's been debunked, as we saw in Dark Side of the Ring. Brawl for All was just kind of thrown together because Vince Russo thought it would be kind of fun to see somebody beat up Bradshaw, and that's why the whole Brawl for All started. Um, but Bart Gunn won it. He beat Bradshaw in the finals. He kicked his ass. What I never understood was that match at WrestleMania. Like, they said it was going to be a boxing match. When the bell rang, why didn't Bart Gunn just do what he wanted to do? Like, who was going to stop him? Like, seriously, just go in there and do what you have to do to make the match better, like, for yourself. Like, I never understood that. Like, he should have just went out there and won. He lost and he got fired anyway. So if you're going to get fired, go out swinging and winning, or at least putting up a fight. I never understood that. I never understood why Bart Gunn just kind of went along with it. He's like, oh, I've never boxed before, but I'm going to box now against a professional boxer. Yeah, tough man contest and like actual boxing are two different things. But Butterbean was the greatest tough man boxer in the history of the sport. And you're getting thrown in. You beat a bunch of guys in wrestling, not in boxing matches, but in pretty much like an MMA style fight. And now you're going to go into a train and box a boxer. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. So, like, I get it. They told him it was a boxing match, but when that bell rang, he should have just did what he had to do. Maybe the outcome would have been different. I don't know. But if he went out and he laid out Butterbean, like just doing like the MMA stuff that they did in Brawl for All, I guess I don't know what the hell that was really about. But if he just went out and did that and like laid out Butterbean, I don't know, man. Maybe Bart Gunn would have had a better, like a longer career in WWE. He had a really good run anyway, but he kind of left just as it was getting good and kind of missed out on a lot of money. And it would have been cool for him, bigger paydays, if he would have just been like a badass. I don't know what they would have done with him after the Brawl for All. Had he beat Butterbean, I don't know what you do with him after that. But that's not up for me to decide. That's up for them to decide, and I'm sure they would have figured something out. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What did you think of Bart Gunn? Did you like him back in the day? I really like. He's definitely a what could have been kind of guy to me, and I always kind of think about some of these guys like what could have been. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.